Which is best, the X1 or the Neo? I'm going to answer that question in the first minute of this video. I've been flying the X1 for over a year. I was sent one of the first production models to shoot with before it was released, and I loved the way it recorded audio, then removed the noise of the drone's rotors.
And I would not be surprised if DJI were looking to copy exactly what Hover Air has got here.
Of course they have, and they've improved on it, with Neo being the result. This was sent to me to fly 3 weeks before launch, so I've had time to consider which is better. My opinion is that it's very much a use case scenario, the type of flying and filming you want to do. I am not diminishing the excellent X1 at all, but this is how I've come to think of them. So if you want to take aerial snapshots of a holiday moment or a family gathering, then it's probably the X1. You're not really bothered about the fact it's only 2.7K. It'll fit on your social media just fine. And the best thing is that folds away to a fraction of the size, and it will fit into a pocket. It's a bit of a stretch to get the Neo into a pocket. But for anything else, if you want to make any kind of a film, this is the one I'd go for. That's a bold comment given I've been using the X1 for the last year to make films, so it's clearly possible, but this is my reasoning. Not that long ago, I shot aerials with just my DJI Mini 3 Pro. It did all I wanted at the time, but interrupted those adventures.
I reckon it adds 20 minutes every time you see a series of drone shots. Because all this stuff has to come out, get put away, I have to ride, then I stop, take it all out again, put it all away. The drone's in its case, I've got to put the controller away yet, the phone, got to change a case for that. I'm not saying poor me or anything, because I like flying the drone, but yeah, this is where the time goes.
The X1 was much faster to deploy, and it produced much closer follow shots. But I came to regard it as an extra, not a replacement. The Mini 3 Pro took the wider images that located me in the landscape and, crucially, stable scenic shots. I feel these are essential to give a sense of place. So I ended up carrying both drones for specific uses. And this ends up being quite a pile of kit. The Neo isn't quite as good as all of this. For example, the gimbal only moves in a single axis, but with the stabilization, comes very close, and that's good enough for me in most cases. And because I'm bike packing and backpacking, there is a significant weight and space saving. When I see a shot, I'm more likely to take it if I'm carrying the Neo. On a recent 2-day ride on the Isle of Jura, I just carried the drone and spare batteries, controlling it from my phone. That doesn't have the range of a controller, but the scenics were good, as were the follow shots. These will all feature in a video coming soon. When flying the X1 in manual using its app, the controls are really just on-off buttons. You can't adjust the amount of power. So forward, back, up, down, and even a combination all work okay. But turning is very quick, and it doesn't lend itself to being combined with a side movement to create a gentle arc. The gimbal control is good, but the stop-starts feel abrupt. The Neo has virtual joysticks. The more you push them off-center, the more power delivered, and that allows more complex moves. The placing of gimbal tilt on the screen I found a bit tricky to operate. As well as being able to feather the inputs, the Neo naturally comes to a more gentle stop, so shots feel smoother. The Neo's app is nowhere near as good as the controller, and if you already have a DJI controller, it'll probably work with it, but check compatibility. I'll put what DJI says in the video description. And this is why I say the decision on which is best is a use case scenario. For shooting my bikepacking videos, it's the Neo. For yours, it might be the X1. But remember, the replacements for the X1 have already been announced, although they're not yet in full production. And Neo is currently cheaper, but I suspect that will soon change.
Close. Direction track. 3, 2, 1.
I've flown both together for a comparison, but it is hard to judge video quality when it's downscaled, compressed by me, then compressed by YouTube, so I'd suggest you just look at overall appearance. The Neo is extremely saturated, but it's a look many people like on their social media because it pops. think GoPro. Again, it's personal choice.
Oh, and there's another thing. I wanted to do some more shooting, and already I've got to change the battery in the X1.
It's about 10 to 12 minutes on the X1 battery and around 18 on the Neo. When the Neo is tracking, the app shows what is happening, which is helpful. Here, both drones are set to high and far, and the Neo does a better job of showing me in the surrounding scenery. I can fly it closer for a more intimate image, but its low setting should be reserved for flat areas.
You're a bit too low.
Final thoughts. The Neo might not be your choice, but it is mine because it fits the filming and the flying that I do. It is just more versatile than the X1, and more is promised. Very easy acrobatic tricks are meant to come soon, along with first-person view capability, although I suspect most people who fly those will regard it very much as a beginner's drone. And finally, the most difficult question of all. If I already had an X1, would I buy the Neo? Probably not. I think I'd want to wait and see what the X1 Pro and the X1 Max looked like. I know a few journalists have seen some early models. They don't seem to be in full production yet, but they might be worth waiting for. A reminder, I was sent the X1 and the Neo free to review, but these are my own honest independent opinions. No one has sent me a script and vetoed anything I've said. If it has been helpful, give me a thumbs up please. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.